Welcome back, everyone. Now, a new report has revealed just how much the country's 4 major airports are raking in, and you probably won't believe it. In the past year, Melbourne and Sydney airports pocketed over $130 million each in revenue. That's more than $370,000 a day. Now, this has prompted calls for the ACCC for tougher regulations.
I believe it. I've parked at the airport recently. Let's get today's take on this with Nine's Ross Greenwood and commentator Shelly Horton. Roscoe, Sydney Airport is making 73 cents for every dollar of revenue, and yet it's still hard to find a coffee sometimes.
Well, do you know, here's the thing. Not only have airports become massive shopping centres, and they're not really regulated in the way in which normal shopping centres are regulated, then the second part about this is the car park is a monopoly. Now, as a result, when you go to the airport, if you wish to park, you've got no other choice than to go there. Now, sure, some are trying to get competition off-site and put a bus in to get you there and all that type of thing, but really it is a captive market. So as a result of this, they can start to charge you what they like. There's the boss of a very major airport in Australia who once said to me that we don't actually run an airport. What we run is a car park with an airport attached.
Who owns the damn planes?
Wow.
Yeah, right. So as a result of that, understand that airports are not necessarily in the business of having planes take off and land, although they make money out of that. They're actually in the business of car parking because that's where they make all their money.
I guess the question is it ever going to get any better?
I think it will if people start voting with their feet and not parking there. I mean, I don't park at the car parks anymore because it's cheaper to get a cab or an Uber than it is to actually park overnight.
But even when you go to pick someone up, there's very few now where you can just drive in and...
Absolutely.
Stop.
They need to actually...
5 or 10 minutes to get there.
And that's to encourage you to go to the car park, to pay for 15 minutes, $15
And then they have
$10,
parking inspectors that if you stay for more than 5 minutes, they write you a fine. I think we need to actually make sure that the competition is there for things like Uber doesn't have a pickup point at the airports now, so it's only taxis. So we need to maybe work on that. They can drop you off, but there's no Uber pickup point. I think that we need to work on that. And I know I want to pick my parents up and I actually want to be there and pick them up. So you need to factor that in. So maybe some of the very short term should be much cheaper.
Here's an interesting thing. An airport is a public facility. I think we'd all agree on this.
Yeah.
And therefore the public has to use it. We don't have high-speed trains. We don't have all those types of things to compete. And so as a result, while people have to use a public facility, it's got to be treated as a public facility.
So what can the ACCC do? Can they do anything about it?
Well, what it can do is try and, make more car parking spaces available. Try and make certain that there is not a significant price increase of, the car parking, which effectively gouges people. And then the other option is, of course, where is the competition? Well, it's either off-site car parking or it is the likes of the Ubers and also taxis coming in that really give people a bit of a chance.
All right, let's move on to what else is making news this morning. And a new app is being touted as, uncomfortably, Tinder for Parents. It gives potential mums and dads a platform to find sperm donors, egg donors or surrogates. So, Shelley, you kind of swipe right for a baby. Do you think this is a
hate
good
that
idea?
they've called this like Tinder. It's nothing like Tinder at all. I love this idea.
Yeah.
Because families aren't traditional families anymore. And I've got so many of my girlfriends who would love to have a baby, but they've asked friends, they don't have anyone who can be a surrogate, they're looking overseas. I think this actually brings a group of like-minded people together and it could be an incredible solution. I think we also need to look at our surrogacy laws in Australia. We need to look at whether or not people are getting paid. We need to look at adoption because it's just not a mum, a dad and a kid anymore. We've got to adapt.
I'm a little troubled by this, I think, Shelley. And the reason for that is because I agree with you that you cannot judge a family anymore. And if you've got a loving parent and a child, then that is the perfect relationship, no doubt about that. What troubles me is actually laws that cross borders. In other words, if you're getting a surrogate parent from another country, then fundamentally you're dealing with laws of a different country. You need to be dealing within the laws of the boundary from where you live to make certain that that child is protected now and in the future. Because there's real problems, of course, as we know, with children suddenly being whisked away. Now, if all of a sudden there's identification of parents in the future and children are whisked away, I think that can cause some real fundamental problems.
I can understand what you're saying and I completely disagree.
You put your hand up at me, by the way.
I'm like, stop right there. you're looking at a very, very small minority. It works
Sure.
for such a majority. And I think that, you know, we've got friends in the media who've done this. I've got 2 gay friends who have now got a beautiful baby girl.
I'm hearing all that, but I just know the family
very
courts
occasional,
are full.
but you know what?
No.
Even with this
Family
app, there
courts are full
there are
of issues
laws
such as
that you
this.
can actually educate yourself about
Sure.
it. If you're desperate for a baby, you're not going to just
Family courts
ignore all
are
of that.
full
You're
of
going
these
to be
issues.
aware of it.
Yes, I understand. The love is the key.
It's not just international via Australia, it's state-based.
It's interstate-based, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's all of that.
absolutely.
All right, well, this is obviously a hot topic here. Let us know. You got that picture of you just fuming there down the camera, Shelley. Please go onto Facebook and Twitter. Maybe some of this involves you, and we'd love to hear from you and see what you think. But Ross and Shelley, that was a great talk today. Good on you,
Thanks,
both.
guys. Still to come, they came to blows on Married at First Sight.